I believe in our belief system here at Stillheart, and I know Joan Porter, our founder, believes this as well, that we are entering into a new way of thinking and being in the world and in business in particularly. And it doesn't matter whether it's nonprofit or for-profit. I came from the for-profit world. I spent 15 years in corporations and about a year here at Stillheart. How many of you come from a for-profit background? Many of you. Okay. So you might have discovered the same thing that I discovered, and that is that the challenges and opportunities, whether you're for-profit or a nonprofit, they're pretty much the same. And a lot of them revolve around money. Money going out and money coming in. And your personal relationship with that money and your corporations or your nonprofits' relationship with that money. And as we enter into this new stage in the world, there are going to be new ways of being in business that some say is a more feminine way, is a more heartfelt way, coming more from the heart, which is why having Lynn and Gail here, who are so into their heart, are so special to us, and a little bit more softer. It's going to be more about collaboration, less about competition, more about making decisions based on how it feels rather than what your head thinks, more about being in flow, fluidity, rather than having a plan and trying to stick to it no matter what, and not being open to all the possibilities that you never thought existed. And more about inclusion rather than separation. And I have a great example of this. About 6 months ago, I had been here for about 6 months at that time, and Stillheart's been in startup mode for basically about a little over a year now. We reopened after a 3.5-year remodel and reconstruction, and to this beautiful facility you see now. And so we've been in startup mode, and about 6 months into it, where I felt like, wow, we have our staff on board now, we have key responsibilities, we've got a lot of people doing all the right things, we created a team. And I thought, from my corporate background, wow, we really should have an organizational chart now. So I started thinking about it, but for some reason, all the organizational charts that I had ever seen never really made sense. It didn't make sense now. It made sense back then, didn't make sense now, because it was all these lines. This person's here, and this person's more important than that, and this person's under this person. And I said, that doesn't really work anymore. So I drew a circle. And in the circle, I put all the functional areas and team members. And that circle became our organizational chart. And I was explaining this to a friend last week who came to visit Stillheart. And she said, so, are you in the center of the circle? And I said, no, I'm not in the center of the circle. She said, is Joan in the center of the circle? I said, no, none of us are in the center of the circle. The center of the circle is Stillheart, a business with heart. And we are all just spokes on the wheel. Because if any one of those spokes fall off or break off, the entire wheel can't keep rolling. And so that is the new way of doing business. And it's about inclusion, but you have to first develop that inclusion inside your company, internally, before you can actually relate to companies outside, whether it's trying to get fundraising or trying to get revenue or partnering with companies. Think about inclusion and collaboration rather than competition and someone sitting at the other side of the desk. Bring that person into your heart, and you'll have a much, much different experience in business than you have ever had before. And I think that the nonprofits will be leading this new charge. You know, there was always this big separation between nonprofits and for-profits, and nonprofits were kind of slow-moving and you know, didn't really, you know, they weren't business-minded, they weren't fast to market. But the nonprofits are filled with people that have heart and passion and love people. And these are the companies that can actually change the way business is going forward. And I just thank you all for being part of the nonprofit community. So thank you very much.